Didn't have a chemistry read as Ryle and Lily. We had, the very first time we met, we had a 3-hour meeting. And by the end of that meeting, I just knew she was Lily. But no, we didn't have a chemistry read. We did have chemistry reads with Lily and Atlas's, but we didn't with Ryle and Lily. And so, I'm grateful and hopeful that there's chemistry on screen. I'm so bad at karaoke.
Asking for the gag order and explaining how he's talking too much. He's threatening to post stuff on public sites. So what I think is, this looks good for Baldoni, right? He's like, we want to make it all public. And sometimes lawyers can do this knowing that they can't actually do what they say they're going to do.
And that's part of the point that Justin's team is making in kind of complying with what they're viewing as threats made on her behalf against Justin is like, well, there's this financial consequence to everything in addition to the strike consequences too, right? So they filmed May to June, then shut down for the strike, and then they were down until January. But I think that the strike lifted in November, but then she had all these return to work provisions.
In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see. So what they're saying is, now that, Justin Baldoni shared the truth of what it looks like, they're no longer making the same claims. Previously, they said Miss Lively was filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Of course, Justin proved there was sound. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself.
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence. Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it.
He and 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists, have brought a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, essentially alleging them of libel and false light invasion of privacy. So Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told BBC's partner CBS that the newspaper aided and abetted a smear campaign designed to revitalise Lively's floundering.
Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfair Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan, the Agency Group PR LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we write to advise the court of an issue that the Wayfarer parties wish to address at the upcoming conference on Monday, February 3rd, 2025.
Hollywood is no stranger to drama. But what happens when the real-life tension behind the scenes becomes more explosive than the story being told on screen? Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were supposed to be the perfect duo for It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. With Lively's star power and Baldoni's passion for storytelling, expectations were sky-high. But instead of a smooth collaboration, things took a shocking turn. Accusations, legal battles, and a PR nightmare have now overshadowed what was meant to be a career-defining project. Fans who once cheered for this partnership are now divided, and Hollywood is left reeling from the fallout. So, what really happened behind the scenes, and why is everyone talking about Blake Lively's reaction to the backlash? Let's break it all down. When Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni announced their collaboration on It Ends With Us, fans were ecstatic. Based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, the film promised to tackle the difficult and emotional topic of domestic violence, an issue that required both sensitivity and strong performances. Lively, known for her poise and charisma, was set to take on the lead role, while Baldoni, celebrated for his work in Jane the Virgin, and his advocacy for gender equality not only starred in the film but also directed it. At first, everything seemed perfect. The project had all the makings of a blockbuster, a beloved book, a powerful story, and 2 stars with devoted fan bases. Lively and Baldoni even praised each other in early press interviews, with Lively calling Baldoni a visionary and Baldoni describing Lively as the perfect Lily. It looked like It Ends With Us would be a career-defining project for both of them. But as production progressed, whispers of tension started to emerge. At first, they were dismissed as typical on-set stress, the kind that comes with any high-stakes film. However, behind the scenes, cracks were beginning to show, and soon those whispers would turn into full-blown allegations that would shock Hollywood. And what happened next would leave fans questioning everything. As anticipation for It Ends With Us grew, so did the pressure behind the scenes. At first, the excitement surrounding the project seemed to fuel an electric atmosphere on set. Fans expected a gripping and emotional adaptation, and the studio was banking on the film's success. But as filming progressed, reports of friction between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni started to circulate. Insiders began whispering about creative differences between the 2 stars. While Lively reportedly had a strong vision for her character, Baldoni, who was both starring in and directing the film, was said to have his own ideas about how the story should unfold. What started as minor disagreements allegedly escalated into more serious disputes, with tensions rising behind closed doors. Then, shocking allegations surfaced that changed everything. Some crew members claimed that Baldoni's behavior toward women on set was problematic, with multiple reports suggesting that Lively herself had expressed discomfort. The situation became even more explosive when rumors emerged that Baldoni had disregarded complaints from other women on set. What was once framed as a simple case of creative tension now appeared to be something far more serious. With conflicting accounts and growing speculation, fans were left wondering, was this just another case of Hollywood egos clashing, or was there something far darker happening behind the scenes? As more details emerged, the controversy only deepened. What started as whispers of tension on set soon erupted into a full-blown Hollywood scandal. Blake Lively took the first major step by filing a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment and alleging that he orchestrated a smear campaign to damage her reputation. The allegations sent shockwaves through the industry, and suddenly, It Ends With Us was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Baldoni didn't stay silent for long. In a swift counterattack, he filed his own lawsuit against Lively, claiming defamation and extortion. His legal team dismissed her accusations as a calculated move to sabotage his career, insisting that the real issue was a personal vendetta rather than any misconduct on his part. With both sides locked in a legal battle, the public was left with 2 vastly different narratives and no clear answers. Meanwhile, fans and media outlets were quick to take sides. Some stood firmly behind Lively, arguing that her accusations were too serious to ignore, while others believed Baldoni was being unfairly targeted. Social media exploded with debates, heated arguments, and calls for accountability. But just when the controversy couldn't get any messier, Blake Lively's own behavior came under scrutiny. An interaction with a fan went viral for all the wrong reasons, making people question whether she was handling the backlash as gracefully as she claimed. And that moment only added fuel to the fire. As the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni intensified, public opinion became more divided than ever. Fans who once adored Lively were suddenly questioning her character after a seemingly minor incident spiraled into a major controversy. During a fan interaction, Lively was gifted a handmade pink beaded bracelet, an innocent gesture meant as a token of admiration. But instead of the warm, appreciative response fans expected, Lively appeared visibly uninterested and dismissed the gift because it didn't match her outfit. The moment was caught on camera and quickly spread across social media, fueling accusations that she was out of touch and ungrateful. The backlash was swift. Fans took to Twitter and Instagram, calling her reaction cold and entitled. Others argued that the entire scandal had exposed her true personality, suggesting that the Hollywood sweetheart image she had built over the years was nothing more than a carefully curated facade. At the same time, the media was having a field day. Entertainment outlets and talk shows dissected every new detail of the controversy. Comedian Chelsea Handler even weighed in, mocking the escalating drama and urging both Lively and Baldoni to put their egos aside. The feud had officially taken on a life of its own, and suddenly, the original purpose of It Ends With Us, a film meant to raise awareness about domestic violence, was completely overshadowed. But while Lively was facing backlash from fans, Baldoni's troubles were far from over. His once pristine reputation was taking a serious hit, and major industry players were starting to turn their backs on him. As the controversy surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni escalated, the fallout extended beyond just public opinion. Hollywood's power players were now getting involved, and the impact on both stars' careers was undeniable. For Baldoni, the backlash was swift and severe. Once praised for his advocacy of gender equality, he found himself facing mounting criticism as more details from Lively's lawsuit surfaced. In a particularly humiliating blow, a prominent women's rights organization rescinded an award Baldoni was set to receive for his work promoting female empowerment. The group stated that, given the gravity of the allegations, they could no longer stand by him. But that wasn't the only setback. Talent agencies and major Hollywood studios quietly began distancing themselves from Baldoni, fearing that any association with him could spark further controversy. Projects he had lined up were suddenly under review, and some insiders speculated that his career could take a major hit, if not completely derail, depending on the outcome of the legal battle. Meanwhile, Lively wasn't entirely in the clear either. While she still had a strong base of supporters, some industry insiders were reportedly frustrated with how the controversy was overshadowing It Ends With Us. Studio executives had hoped for an awards season contender, but instead they were dealing with PR nightmares and a divided fan base. The film's marketing strategy was now in crisis mode, with some insiders questioning whether the movie would even get a fair shot at success. Despite everything, the drama was far from over. The more Hollywood tried to move on, the more the scandal seemed to escalate, and soon both Lively and Baldoni would face an even bigger problem, one that neither of them saw coming. Just when it seemed like the controversy had reached its peak, a new wave of fallout began to shake both Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's careers. What started as an on-set dispute had now turned into a full-scale industry reckoning, one that neither of them could escape. For Baldoni, the consequences were becoming more severe by the day. Major brands that once championed his work were quietly pulling their support, and insiders speculated that he was being unofficially blacklisted from future Hollywood projects. Directors and producers who had once praised his storytelling were now hesitant to attach their names to his, afraid of potential backlash. Even longtime supporters began to question whether his carefully curated image as a feminist, an advocate for equality, had been nothing more than a well-played performance. Meanwhile, Lively's public image was also taking unexpected hits. While she had positioned herself as a victim in the legal battle against Baldoni, the backlash from fans over her dismissive attitude toward the bracelet gift continued to linger. Some critics argued that the scandal had revealed a more unfiltered, less likable side of her, one that didn't align with the down-to-earth persona she had built over the years. The constant media coverage made it impossible for her to avoid the controversy, and with every new headline, her reputation seemed to take another dent. But the most shocking development, the controversy had sparked a much larger conversation about power dynamics, gender politics, and accountability in Hollywood. The irony was impossible to ignore. It Ends With Us was supposed to highlight domestic violence and toxic relationships, yet its two biggest stars were now embroiled in an explosive real-life scandal that was dividing the industry. With both Lively and Baldoni fighting to salvage their reputations, one big question remained. Would either of them be able to recover from this, or had Hollywood just witnessed the downfall of two of its brightest stars? The industry, known for its short-lived loyalties and ruthless scrutiny, had already begun dissecting every detail, with fans and critics alike taking sides. The court of public opinion was in full session, and the verdict was far from unanimous. Some argued that their careers could withstand the storm, while others believed this was a career-defining scandal that neither would easily escape. One thing was for sure, this story was far from over. What started as a highly anticipated book-to-film adaptation had now morphed into one of Hollywood's most shocking controversies, a tale that rivaled even the most dramatic of scripts. It Ends With Us was meant to spark conversations about domestic violence, but instead it became a real-life case study in power struggles, reputations on the line, and the dark side of the entertainment industry. Behind closed doors, agents scrambled to control the fallout, PR teams crafted damage control strategies, and insiders whispered about who would emerge unscathed, or if anyone truly would. As the dust settled, one lingering question loomed over Hollywood. Was this a temporary scandal that would eventually fade into the background, or had Lively and Baldoni become the latest cautionary tale in an industry that never forgets? Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were once seen as a dream team, two well-respected figures in Hollywood coming together to bring a beloved novel to life. Lively, known for her effortless charm and polished public image, had long been a fan favorite, seamlessly transitioning from her Gossip Girl days to a successful film career. Baldoni, on the other hand, had cultivated a reputation as a progressive filmmaker and advocate for gender equality, frequently using his platform to champion women's voices in media. But their public fallout has shattered that carefully built image, leaving fans and industry insiders questioning everything. Baldoni, once seen as an advocate for women, now faces serious accusations that could permanently derail his career. His past efforts to promote conversations around masculinity and feminism suddenly seem tainted in the wake of these allegations. Even if he successfully defends himself in court, the damage to his public persona may be irreversible. Hollywood has long been known for its ability to move on from scandals, but in the current climate, where accountability is more important than ever, Baldoni may struggle to regain the trust of audiences and industry decision-makers alike. Lively, on the other hand, is facing a different kind of scrutiny, one that cuts deeper than just legal battles. Unlike Baldoni, who is dealing with professional exile, Lively is being judged on something much more personal: her authenticity. Fans who once adored her for her relatability and wit are now second-guessing whether her public persona was just a facade. The backlash over her dismissive attitude toward a fan's gift may seem trivial on the surface, but in an industry where likability is currency, such moments can have lasting effects. After all, audiences don't just watch movies, they invest in the celebrities behind them. If Lively is unable to repair the damage to her image, she risks losing the very thing that made her a household name. Now, both stars stand at a crossroads. Baldoni must decide whether to fight for his reputation or step away from the spotlight altogether. Will he attempt a comeback, or will the allegations prove to be the final nail in the coffin for his Hollywood career? Meanwhile, Lively faces an uphill battle in reclaiming the public's trust. Can she distance herself from the controversy, or will this scandal redefine how audiences perceive her for years to come? One thing is certain: This scandal has left an undeniable mark on both of them. Hollywood has seen many PR disasters before, but few have been as messy and high profile as this one. As fans, critics, and industry insiders continue to speculate, one burning question remains: what happens next?